course, our guest, Andrea Shaw, 4-time Olympia champ. Soon to be 5. Ain't nobody touching her. See, I'm starting to kind of talk like her now. Ain't nobody touching her.
That's it. I'm rubbing off. Yeah. Rubbing off.
Yeah. You don't be rolling up on her, Theo.
That's it. You're going to drop the mic on her.
Dust you off. Yeah.
It's getting bad. It's getting bad.
Is that like offensive? Did I just flip
Not at all.
I don't know.
Not at all.
She was laughing.
I give you the pass.
Okay, I get a pass. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It's time.
Look who it is.
Why don't you come and sit down?
Pull up a chair.
We've got a microphone for Miss Olympia.
Where is the microphone? Is it on the chair?
It's on the chair there, and we've got headphones for her too.
Headset it up.
Look at this.
Wow.
It's like kind of like you get to like take a break for a few.
Can you hear us? Check, check.
We got the Bose head.
4-time
Yes.
Olympia champion, Andrea Shaw. So, Andrea, the last time you were on the show, I was unable to make it for some reason. I don't even remember why, but you were on with Dusty and Scott?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I wasn't on that day.
That's right.
How do you take that day off of all days?
I was upset. Like, what do you mean?
I remember it being like an emergency of some kind, but I don't recall. I might have been stuck in an airport. You
Probably.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was talking Jim off the ledge with the pineapples and the pizza.
Oh.
Yeah, we're still like, Jim, we're still gonna convert you, man. Figure it out.
That's funny. So, 4-time Olympia champ. I see you're wearing the 2023 one.
Damn, I couldn't resist.
So let's just create a scenario here. It's an emergency. You have to leave. You get to pack one backpack, and you can only take one medal. Which one do you take? The first one or the newest one?
That's a tough question. That's a tough question.
Question I'll never have to answer.
Right. Oh, man. I got to say the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to say the first one. I mean, there's nothing like the first one, even though each one is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's real special. That first one, though, like, it's the first one. And I won it on my birthday, so it was kind of like,
Damn.
good nod. It was a good nod. It was like everything in me knew. I'm like, this is my day.
Hey, here's a question for you. Of your 4 Olympia victories, which one was the easiest? Think of the prep.
Question.
Think of the whole thing, the prep, the mental situation, the actual day of the show. Which one was the easiest?
20. It's a toss-up between this one, 23.
Yeah.
23. And why do you think? Do you think you just so in the zone and mentally it was easier? Or do you think you just knew you were going to be super, really, almost impossible to beat? How did it work?
I knew that I gave just a little bit more to this particular prep.
Because you just got smarter and better and more
Exactly, and
experienced.
I wanted to give more.
Like
I
the
felt
effort
like this
was always max, but now it was
like
more
when
directed.
you go to your coach and say, can I diet with just this
Right.
extra 3 days and see how it goes? Like, we're already doing 5 days of depletion, but I'm asking for more.
Yeah.
I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I want to give it.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
he told me, he said, listen, if you start feeling like, the energy's just not there, then we gotta give you something. We gotta give you some carbs somewhere. But I'm like, no carbs. I'm going to win. I gotta be shredded.
You hit it hard though, like at the end, that last few weeks, that last month, from between the Wings of Strength show.
You saw, I was getting leaner by the hour, y'all. It's crazy.
That was wild.
What were you eating? Just fat-free protein source?
That's it.
And,
That's it.
And what, egg whites and fish and this
fish.
Like fish and no veggies even at one point, right?
So when you ask the coach to go on more fish for days with no carbs, no veggies.
No veggies.
Do you eat egg whites?
Negative.
Oh, I'm an egg white guy.
Once I get about 8 to 9 weeks out, then the egg whites go.
Why do you take them out? You just rather have meat?
Sometimes they make me a little more gaseous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, sometimes, for some odd reason, like when I have an enzyme present, it's good. But every blue moon, because then I can take the enzyme away and I'm good. But last year, and this happened last year, which was odd, and I was like, dang, what's missing? My stomach was just so upset. And I had egg white wraps. I found me something new to eat, so I found these egg white wraps. I got them from Meijer. And they're like no calories, but it's just the egg white, so you can wrap it up like a sandwich, right?
Right.
I had 2 of them, and I was like, oh, wait, something seems off. I'm like, I'm only eating egg whites and fish and veggies. So I know it's not the veggies because I'm only eating that much.
Yeah.
So yeah, then by process of elimination, I'm like, all right, I know what it is.
If I had to pick, like if someone was like 2 months of one, I would pick egg whites, I think.
Oh yeah.
I just have a hard time with. I would like them. I actually like them, you know.
Oh yeah. It like in proportion.
Well, yeah, I say that, but after 6 weeks,
Right. I came home from the Olympia and I'm like, I still got a few servings of fish left. I'm like, just throw them in the freezer. I don't want to look at no fish. For the next like 6 weeks. So, like, but then I had to go guest pose at Sean Ray. Okay. And my ankle started swelling, so I was like, all right, going back on the fish.
Back to him.
So here's another question for you. So we found out what the easiest win was. Was there a particularly difficult win? Was there a stressful win or something where you had a hard prep, something came up? Was there any win what was the hardest win?
Oh, 21 and 22. Yeah, 21 and 22. I mean, I had the pressure of winning the first one from 20.
Right, the repeat.
Yeah,
the repeat
like,
is
but that repeat, man, there's pressure. People are like, oh, well, it might have been a fluke. You know, oh, we don't know if she's really that good. Well, you know, it's all still so new. Somebody could come out of the woodworks, but then it was like, I gotta apply pressure.
Right.
I checked into a hotel room. Right. I'm like, I can't be at home. I got to get away from the food. I got to get away from the laundry. I went straight to the hotel room.
No
for
way.
days. I still do that.
Did you do that this past year?
I did.
Yeah?
I still do it.
Wow.
That's the year I found out that it works.
Okay.
I literally remove myself from any distractions. The only time I leave that hotel room is to train with my coach and to do cardio. That is it. Everything else is sleep, eat, and practice that routine.
Wow.
Oh, it gets in the zone.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
But both of
levels
those
to
years,
this.
it was like the first defending of the title was like, damn, okay, I got to make sure that I'm bringing it. And I brought it, right? But then the next year, it was like, okay, it was the hype. And that's when I started realizing, okay, I got to turn off the social media a little bit.
Right.
You know, they comparing, they trying to like, okay, well, you know, so-and-so's coming. They saying they coming for the title. And I'm like, oh, man, all right.
Yeah.
You know, people talking trash. You know how it is. And I get it. I can do something with it. I can make it work. But I never like to show what I may be thinking. I will go inward and do it, right? And do my work. And that's where I was like, all right, cool. I had to find ways to apply much more pressure. Much more pressure. And I had a little bit of a scare. I took in a little too much caffeine. I was too amped up. And I ended up, I think Scott, I told him a little bit about this. I ended up going to consult a cardiologist just to make sure that, you know, everything was good. So there was pressure there too. So I'm like, dang, okay. I was a little too zealous on the caffeine. I'm like, now I got to back off.
Right.
So trying to do cardio was like a touch and go. I wanted to slow down a little bit, take my time.
So what dose of caffeine is a little too much?
Anything over 300.
At a time.
Oh, you're talking like one time. I thought you meant your daily consumption was just getting out of
that too, because I would go and work out. Y'all, I love training. I love working out, just being active.
Yep.
But I would go and work out, then I would come home and teach a class online, and I'm taking more caffeine and help out the ladies. Then I'm like trying to sleep. Then I gotta go meet coach, train there. Then I'm like still gotta do cardio before bed. Now I was getting there. And then when I heard you do a half scoop. Half scoop.
Half scoop.
I'm like, you know what? Dusty's method may not be bad.
Yep.
It's
I don't need all that.
Not as fun, but it's a more level day.
Exactly.
Right? I go for the level day is important to me now.
The reality is, though, if you need to go to sleep, just go to sleep. So thank God, Victoria, my godsend right there, she walked me through, some good tips on getting better sleep. My mind, sometimes it's hard to turn it off.
Right.
When you got that, okay, am I checking all the boxes? Is there anything else I can do?
As soon as you lay down to sleep and you close your eyes, it's like
That's it. And it's like, okay, what we gonna do tomorrow? Okay, we're gonna do this tomorrow. We're gonna do that tomorrow. And we're like, we gotta make sure we do the abs this way. We haven't done this. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. I'm working on 4 hours of sleep.
And training hard.
Training real hard.
You were still training hard, like everything.
Yeah.
When did you shoot that leg workout in Scott's basement? When was that?
I was about 8 weeks out.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was before the Rising Phoenix.
Yep.
So at that point, 8 weeks out, because there was only 5 weeks in between the two. So I had to be about 4 weeks out from the Rising Phoenix.
And she killed it.
Yeah.
She went hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only way she knows.
That's it. That's it.
She one speed, Scott.
Yeah.
One speed.
That's it.
Full speed.
100%. Even yesterday, I was tired after I trained legs. I got off the plane. I'm like, all right, here you go. Eat me something, and let's hit the gym. I got to go train.
Right.
I'm like, I'm tired. I got done training. I was like, I'm awake.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought I was tired. You know, you stimulate your central nervous system when you train that hard.
Oh yeah.
When you go intense, right? People don't understand. Sometimes it's hard to bring that
Absolutely.
get back down.
Yep.
It took a minute. I like 3 hours before I was like ready to.
Did you go after we saw you last night, or when did you go?
Yeah. Well, no, before. It was just before.
Yeah, that was the same in our room. I passed out immediately. I woke up. I'm like, oh man, how'd you sleep? She goes, terrible. She's like, I was up at 2 a.m. looking at the clock. I was like, well, you trained harder than I did, so there you go. I slept like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to rely on melatonin that much.
Right.
That's what people are like, melatonin. I'm like, but you're really not supposed to take it that much because, like, you know, your body produces it naturally.
Right.
You don't want to throw anything off, you know, naturally occurring with your body.
I want to ask you, I mean, with 4 Olympia titles and the physique that you have, what do you think of the current sort of, or how much attention do you even pay to the current sort of chat about how to actually train properly and what we should be doing and all that?
That's a good question.
Are you into that? Are you following, like, you know, the guys talking about mechanics and foot position, and or are you just kind of like, hey, I know it works for me and I feel this and I'm just gonna do it?
I think some of it has a place, but I think sometimes you can get so caught up into it, you just forget. Do the basic stuff, man.
Right.
Do the basic stuff. We're not here to. I'm about old school bodybuilding. I'm not. I tell clients when I take them in, I'm not that trainer that's gonna give you razzle dazzle tricks. We're not about to be jumping off boxes. We about to do straight up old school bodybuilding. We about to do T-bar rows. We gonna squat. We gonna leg press. We gonna deadlift.
Right.
Right. Like, just get the work done.
Yeah.
I ain't got it all day. Right.
I heard a great quote the other day. I think it was Mike Israelati. Israel,
yeah.
I think it was Mike.
Dr.
He said,
Mike Israel.
Yeah, doctor. He just walked by, actually.
Really?
Oh, no.
I haven't met him yet. If you guys see him.
He had a great quote that I loved. It was, everyone's worried about getting the most bang for the buck, but sometimes you just got to get the most bucks.
Simple as that, because they still add up.
Yeah.
They still add up.
I like that.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
It's like, well, you're getting a 100% return on your 10-cent investment, or you're getting a 2% return on your $1,000 investment.
I'll take that.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's like, that sort of makes sense to me.
Completely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look how efficient this is.
But it doesn't do anything.
But it doesn't do anything. Yeah. So.
How about we be efficient with this time?
Right.
I think these people get so caught up into the, like, you know, these little minuscule details. And I ask, okay, well, how long are you training? Oh, I'm in the gym 2 hours. That's not a claim to fame.
Yeah.
Get your butt out of that gym. You need to be an hour. Get out of there. If you're training and the way you need to be training, you tired.
Yeah.
Man, I get 40 minutes in, I'd be like, woof, all right. We in there.
I know that to you don't have an accent, but to Canadian me, I just, it's like, it's right out of a movie.
I'm telling you.
You're just telling me, mind your business. Like,
That's it. And I used to live on the farm, so I get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I got a little bit of a southern, and
just
then I got
no
a little
bullshit.
bit of a
Like,
That's
it's
it.
just
That's
like
it.
it's great.
And I think that's probably one reason why. I mean, he'll tell you, I've been training with my current coach. Oh man,
long time.
Yeah.
And shout out to him. Let everyone know, like, who your current coach is. John, right?
John, IFBB Pro John Simmons. I mean, you know, he used to be with Muscle Mag back in the day.
Well, I'm old enough to remember John Simmons, like, flipping through Muscle Mag and seeing the photos. I remember when he was a pro. Yeah. So when he came to I don't know where I met him. Was it the O last year or the Arnold last? I can't remember, but I finally met him because he's your coach, and he came by and I was like, hey, like, it was cool because, you know, I hadn't seen him in ages.
Yeah.
So
and he still is like, we still just do the basics.
Yeah.
Where we get really good at doing the basic stuff consistently.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, some of these kids, I don't know why they just figure, we got to do all the time under tension, and then we got to turn the toes out, and then we got to turn the toes in. I'm like, just do it. Just get the work done.
You know what? One piece of advice that John Simmons gave me, and this is like years back, all right? Yeah. So John was the first real pro that I met, okay? And I did his show.
Yes, I remember that.
It was my first show. It was John's show, and I remember being in the gym. It was after that show, but I was kind of in awe, you know, because you didn't see a lot of pros in the gyms. And I said, hey, John, I got the 90-pound dumbbells on the bench press. And he's like, oh, that's good, you know? And he said, how many reps did you get? And I said, oh, I got 10 reps, so I'm going to go to the 95s next time. He said, you know, Scott, instead of going to the 95s, how about you take those 90s and you learn to get 20 with them? If you can get 20 reps with those 90-pound dumbbells, I guarantee you that you're going to have a bigger chest. And that's what John's all about.
That's
it's just that simple, old school training.
Completely right. And he hasn't changed. I mean, he's a hardened Marine. He's still the same.
Right. Oh, shit. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows how to be like...
They're never the same.
Ever. The training stuck. The training completely stuck. It works. I got about it. He loves the dumbbell squats for ladies. So with me, he said, you know, I don't want you barbell squatting. He's like, your legs are big enough. If I let you barbell squat, your legs gonna be bigger than what we can handle.
Right.
He's like, I'm like, all right, cool. He was like, but I will let you do goblet squat, or like what some people call it plie squat. You basically turn the toes out and you kind of just work more on the glutes and.
Do you elevate your feet?
He doesn't.
Yeah, you don't need to. Yeah.
So I mean, I'll do that, and I'm like, all right, let's get into it. I'm like, how many reps you want? So, all right, we're gonna do 50. All right, 50 reps. So the next set, I'm like, all right, 65. I'm taking my chest. I don't think I'm doing something. He like, how about 75? I'm like, damn, stand by, boss. Wait a minute. I didn't know he was going there.
75 reps. There we go.
Choke chain. Okay.
Yeah.
Stand by. But I mean, he's really big on like doing a lot over time, right? He's like, you know, if you can hit 20 reps, anything upper body, then you're probably in a good spot. Right before you start looking at adding on a whole lot of heavy weight, right? He's all about mastering the form.
Right.
Okay, more than getting into the tricks, are you executing with good form? Now we can start talking about how you're gonna grow.
Right.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny, like that's another situation where the old school has actually been proven correct. The latest science, we've talked about it, the latest studies have shown that hypertrophy occurs quite evenly from the 3 to 30 rep range. And they did say that, and wasn't it the study said strength did go up more with the heavier weights, but the hypertrophy continued all the way to the 30 rep range.
Absolutely right.
And you know, you see some like, I remember old guys when I was just starting out at the gym, I remember they were like, you're squatting heavy. That's good. You're getting your 8 reps with 3 plates. That's good. Yeah. But let's see 25 reps with a plate and a half after that every workout.
Right.
And I remember thinking like, well, I want to get big.
Right.
You know? But these are the old school guys that are like, yeah, I don't know, but it works.
Yeah.
Like they're just doing that.
Why do you think that they still kind of subscribe to that? Why do you still feel like there are people who are still very absolute about you have to do more weight and less reps?
Well, hey man, I trained heavy and hard for a long time. I was a Dorian disciple, so I did very Dorian-based training for a long time. But every once in a while, we do some 20-rep squats or some 50-rep leg presses or something. And I would say that it's by far the worst.
Are you sore?
Yeah.
You sore?
Yeah, you're sore, but it's just the actual set itself. Like
the wind.
Yeah, well, hey, 100-rep sets on the leg press are probably the most mentally, because you know how mental focus is really easy for short periods of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you make the set 5 minutes long, your mental focus is now 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it just like every time you dial that up, it just gets harder and harder.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think that if you continue to work that muscle like that, it's going to grow.
Yeah.
If you're feeding it right, you're resting it right, you're getting the proper body work done, it's going to grow.
Yeah.
It's like it's a no-brainer. It may not grow as fast, right? But that's where, okay, I would still rather have, and then I ask certain people like, okay, we're retired now. People like John, how did you manage to stay injury-free? Right?
Yeah.
And when they talk to me about things like that, it's like, yeah, okay. Even Lee Haney, I talked to him 2 weeks ago. He's like, yeah, train to stimulate. You don't have to annihilate. Sometimes to take that stimulation up.
Think big.
Yeah.
You know, I met Lee Haney in a restaurant a couple years ago, and I remember I was eating my food. I don't remember who I was sitting with. Were you there? No, I don't remember. And I saw Lee walk in. He was all by himself, and I just jumped out of my seat and I just ran over to him, and he was just waiting for a table. And I just said, Lee, I go, you're actually my first Mr. Olympia, because I started training in 1990.
Yeah.
So he was Mr. Olympia. So he was my first Mr. Olympia, right? That's how I see it. Like, that was the era that I entered. So to finally meet Lee was like really cool, because I had met everyone but Lee.
Wow.
Like, I remember going through the checklist one time talking about, I was like, the only guy that I really haven't met. Like, I'd met Chris Dickerson, and I'd met, like, you know what I mean, Samir Banu, and I'd met like pretty much everyone. but I'd never met Lee Haney, and it was just like awesome to meet him. How often do you see him?
Oh, at least maybe 4 times a year.
Oh, that's
one
crazy.
being the Olympia.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he's still just as humble.
Didn't you guest pose at his show or something? He did a show this year. And
he had a seminar down
That's
in
right.
Atlanta.
Not to mention, he looks like he's 45 years old.
Right? I'm like, man, you still got traps, Lee. You still got shoulders. I'm like, man, there's something to the old school, man. I'm telling you.
And another thing most people don't remember was that he won his first Olympia when he was 23, and he won his 8th when he was 31.
Wow.
And then he was out.
And then he retired with no injuries.
And still has no injuries.
And yeah, so if you think of like who did it best ever,
that's hard to beat that.
It's hard to beat that.
There's one person that does. He only won one Mr. Olympia title, but Dexter Jackson.
I knew you're
Dexter
going.
Jackson,
Yeah.
the vampire himself.
Yeah.
He's around here somewhere. I was texting with his wife earlier. It's like
That's funny that I used the word vampire the other day to describe him.
That's funny.
And I realized how many of us have used that word to describe
it fits
Dexter.
him too.
Yeah.
I mean, because dude, like, I don't know. I don't think we'll ever see another one like him.
No.
To compete that long.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that meme where it had a photo of Dexter every year, a photo of his face every year. Did you ever see that meme?
No.
It was
It's
like
the same picture.
It was like all 20 Olympias. It was his face, and it was like, it was just hilarious. You know, it's like the same. It's just got a little bit of gray right here. That was the only thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ageless.
And he had to eat too. I remember when he retired, he had said, what was it? He was like,
he said the only thing that he's absolutely not going to be happy about when it comes to retirement is that he didn't have to eat so much.
Eat all that chicken and rice. That's what it was. He was like, I'm tired of eating all that chicken and rice.
I know.
I can only imagine. Like,
I remember he told me once that he would be very happy eating 2 meals a day.
Yeah, he still says that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
What about you?
I love eating.
You love eating too much.
That's why I gotta work out, y'all.
We're gonna see. She'll win. She'll win 7, 8, 9, 10 Olympias, and then we'll see her 5 years later. She'll just be 300 pounds.
No way. I gotta figure out a way to stay active. They bring back the Masters Olympia. I think once every 3 years. They say they're gonna do.
It's like those NFL guys that retire. And they just get humongous.
They blow
It's
up.
like, dude, you're not doing all the exercise anymore.
Right.
But you're still eating.
That's where I'm like, no. So I follow off-season diet. I had to. Like, there's no way. Like that. And that's probably another thing that made the 2021 to 22 season a little more challenging. I'm like, all right, man, you can't be up 30 pounds.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, because it's too much hard work to get back down.
And then that means you're gonna need to diet longer. Or
Harder.
you're gonna have to diet harder.
More fish,
And
more bullshit.
Oh man, see, I was like, not for it. I'd rather just eat. And it's really balanced, right? I've got egg whites, I've got steak, I've got shrimp, I've got turkey.
Yeah.
So I'm not starving by any means. Right? I got sweet potatoes, rice, I've got grindstones, so I love the hot rice cereal. I brought you guys some, by the way.
There we go.
You've had some
Oh,
already.
nice.
But I brought more for you.
Thank you.
But I mean, it's nice to have the variety, but it's still concise, right? But the joy of it was, this last pass prep, I got leaner faster.
Right.
By sticking on the off-season plan. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes so much more sense. So it's and I get one cheat meal a week. I'm not starving. I'm still good.
You knocked a whole month of Stairmaster off your prep.
Thank God.
Right. Now, during the prep, I witnessed hold on a second. All right. During the prep, I witnessed a psychological trick that John has set up for Drea. And this is how it works.
But if you tell her, will it wreck it?
No, she knows.
Oh, okay,
She
okay.
knows.
I take my marching orders.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
I think so.
Okay, so before she trains, she's getting ready for her workout, John will let her eat like one small piece of candy. It's like
I don't even like candy. Unless I'm in prep. Only in prep. It's weird.
And she gets
almost
so
like
excited.
it's like a
She's
diabetic glucose tab.
She gets so excited for it.
It's like 3 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
Straight to the brain.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, yeah, the brain receptors just enough to trick them.
Just enough.
Oh, Scott's got a friend.
Yeah, we both know this guy. He's from Michigan.
Oh, okay,
He's from
Michigan dude.
Yeah, he moved down to Ohio a little while ago.
I could tell when somebody's Michigan. Scott knows everyone in Michigan. He knows the whole state.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the joy of having Scott, though. Like he can film, and I told him, I'm like, man, I really want you to be the one to film me because you're connected with my crew. Like, and you know exactly what it is that you're looking at. You know my coach, and just having him there, having him there made me feel really, really good because I want him to capture those moments.
Yeah, and plus having Scott film you, you're not just. It's like one thing to have like a bodybuilding expert and a fan and someone who really knows train you, but he's also a coach.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it must feel good. Like, you're on track. John knows you're on track, everything, but maybe he sees you 2 shoots in a row and he's like, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
It was like, dude, okay, I just saw you 2 weeks ago, and he's like, man, whoa, what's going on? And I'm like,
starving
and
to
to
death.
see what you can handle too. To see what you can handle, like, because they cut the sodium early,
real early,
and that blows me away. Like, I can tell you, I would look like garbage if you took my sodium
I almost
away.
wound up in the hospital one time. Took my sodium out. Almost wound up in the hospital. Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah. Started just cramping everywhere and spasming. And,
But they're able to do that.
Yeah.
Drea's body responds.
Yeah.
And they get what they want out of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, he gets brutal with it. Like, he even took away some of my like organic cayenne pepper, and he's like, you know what? I really prefer you just be. I'm like, you just want to see suffer. You just want.
Yeah.
Like we found out I was using too much Pam cooking spray to saute to pan sear my fish.
I mean, I was using half a spray bottle for every meal.
I was like,
is that too much?
It was
It was 0
crazy.
calories per serving.
Yeah.
It was crazy the way I found out. I'm like, you know how it feels when you're in prep. It's supposed to suck.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I got a whole lot of energy for some odd reason. I'm like, I'm cleaning the house. I'm like, I just had this fish about 40 minutes ago. I bet you I've used too much cooking spray on this fish.
How many calories in a whole bottle of Pam?
Right?
Yeah, exactly. 900.
How much can I get away with? Oh yeah, but when we took it out within 24 hours, the suck was back in full force. I was like, okay.
The suck was back.
Yeah.
Full force.
There's like 5 grams of lipids in your bloodstream disappeared, and it was like, nope.
Like, nah, okay, we're gonna give you back that suck that you really miss.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Being the Olympia champion 4 times and all that, and I know you do cardio heavily. How high does your cardio get again? Like, what's a lot of cardio for you?
An hour.
An hour, okay.
Yeah.
So, can you think of a point, what's the closest you ever gave? What's the closest you ever came to quitting a cardio session?
Oh.
Never.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying she did, but I'm saying that internal conversation, like, fuck, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. The first Olympia.
The first Olympia.
I had to go back and finish. So it was only 11 days in between the shows.
Right.
But I was tired.
Oh, you mean the qualifier and the O?
No, between the Rising Phoenix.
Oh, Rising Phoenix. Yeah, okay, yeah.
And I mean, I was so tired, and I think in the back of my mind I was a little stressed too because we were still peak COVID time. I was like, man, I'm getting ready to travel again. I'm like, I'm nervous. This show means a lot.
Yeah.
And I was just so tired. And that's when I first started noticing, like, during prep, I wasn't sleeping. Not the way I really knew I should have been.
Right.
And I mean, I got there because at that time, Mind and Muscle was still open. So it's a little 24-hour gym that was open because, like, John really wants me to do cardio before bed. So that's the tricky part, right? Doing cardio before bed for me is like, my body's ready to go to bed, but my brain is like, what up?
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, gosh. And it was like, you know what? I did 30 minutes on the treadmill. I don't feel like finishing, man. I'm tired. I could be so much more optimal if I just get some sleep.
Right.
Then I got done and I sat there for a minute. And I was like, you know what? This is important, right?
Yep.
I cannot leave this building without finishing this. And I turned around, got right back up there. I'm like, I don't care if I just walk. And I just told him, I try to be real honest with my coach.
Yeah.
I didn't do hard cardio. I walked.
Right.
Like I sandbagged it. But I finished.
Yeah.
And he was cool with it, but he was like, I try to pride myself on giving the extra.
Right.
So I prefer to, if I'm going to hit, when I'm in prep, I'm doing hit the whole time if I can.
Right.
Yeah, all 60 minutes. I'm like, I'm hitting. But then I was like, Coach, I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Right.
Human for a night.
I'm tired, boss.
That's right. I need a night off, sir.
I like that Mind and Muscle gym. That place was cool.
That place
It was a really
awesome.
hardcore little space. They're gone now. But that said, Drea does a lot of her training. Like, we're talking Miss Olympia, best in the world, trains at Anytime Fitness.
Right?
And utterly kills it there.
I mean, I assume that I'm assuming that you just being there every day, it's a little bit of a different vibe at that particular anytime.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Does everyone, like, do a lot of people there realize, like, you're Olympia champ?
They all know. And I mean, I think, since my coach owns it, we get a lot of liberty like you do, right? We get to say what equipment goes in there. So yeah, it's a franchise, right? They tell you how to design the box, but they don't tell you what to put in the box. So we got a lot of unconventional stuff that you wouldn't find at another Anytime there, like the vertical leg press.
I've seen that before,
Hammer strength, right? They don't carry a lot of that stuff at a traditional Anytime Fitness.
Yeah.
I had a friend that had an Anytime once, and he goes, "You got to see my Anytime run." And I stopped by, and he had a Nebula leg press, a Nebula hack.
Ooh.
He had all this prime equipment, and then he had, like, the basic kit that they made him order. Like, all the pin-loaded stuff was all cool.
Yeah.
It was all, like, Life Fitness or Pre-Core or whatever.
Okay.
But then he had this other stuff, like a row of prime, a row of all this, and some hammer plate loaded and everything. It was awesome.
And it brings people in the door.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. People come in, they're like, whoa, we've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's why. This is why we're doing it this way.
That's great.
It's the best. Now, I wish we could get some of that equipment that we had back in Germany.
Oh, yeah. You
Some of
like
that Galaxy equipment? Oh,
Yeah.
I was sore.
She liked that old
Clarita
stuff.
comes strolling by. I'm not even sore, champ. I'm like, bro, I can barely raise my arms up, put this shirt on. I was so sore, but man, that equipment, I can't wait to get back to Cologne.
It's training in Europe is fun because you see these, like, when I first started going to Europe and seeing that, I'd be like, I've never seen this brand before, and then you realize that's like an epic European brand that's in every gym.
Yeah.
And you start going to other gyms, you're like, oh, like the old Gym 80 stuff is
That Gym 80 stuff
everywhere.
is excellent.
Yeah, the joke I made was, like, if there was a nuclear holocaust, there'd be straight 6 engines,
right?
And Gym 80
and
stuff.
all of the Gym 80
and all the Gym 80 stuff left over. So,
and the construction of the equipment is different. You can tell.
Yeah.
It's very
it's
different.
heavy.
Oh, it's very heavy. Man, I did that vertical leg press over there, and Scott will tell you, I do the vertical leg press all the time. But that one, man, it was like instant glute pump, instant hammies, and I was sore for 4 days. I was like, oh my gosh.
Her legs blew up to like twice the size by the end of that
right
workout.
after the workout.
Yeah. I remember I was there too. Yeah, I was there that day. You guys were going.
I can't wait to go back there. Listen, as soon as we get there, let's go.
Okay.
Please.
That was a good gym. I like that
place. That was a great gym. Like, we could get some of that stuff over here. That'd be awesome. But, I mean, the States is what it is. The good stuff that we have, like down at Powerhouse, that stuff's been there since the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
They've welded a lot of it back together.
Samir Badut trained on some of that equipment, I'm sure. Lenda trained on some of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah. Old school.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
yeah.
Same Powerhouse. So, I mean, when she walks in every time, it's kind of like she knows. She's like, yeah, it's reminiscent of.
She still goes there?
Oh, yeah. When she's home, she trains there.
Oh, man. That's another. She's like the equivalent of Lee Haney to me.
Oh, yeah.
Same. I think the same thing about the both
40,
of them.
Right.
Like,
she just had 2 knee replacements back in 2020. And I'm like, wow. And I went down there to go see her. We were going to dinner. And she's like, I don't know, 3 weeks post-op. I'm like, you all right? You want me to drive? I brought a car. I'll drive you. Oh, no. I'll drive. Both knees now, both at once.
Yeah.
I used to work in orthopedics. So when the doctors, you have to be a good candidate for this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she does her own, that's how you know the mindset, though. I mean, she just still continues to, just wow me.
Yeah.
And then she walks in, I see her a few months later. She's at her show. I'm guest posing. And she's got her heels on. And I'm like, meow, okay.
Yeah.
Mama's still sashaying around. And she still looks amazing, though. And she's still getting hit on. Down in Georgia 2 weeks ago, she said, yeah, this guy at the gas station just rolled up on me.
She told you about that? She said we were going to keep that between us.
Okay, well. Sorry,
She
Mama.
wasn't supposed to talk about me.
Sorry, Mama.
Is that the term, rolled up on me?
Yeah, rolled up on me.
me?
Yeah, he rolled up on me.
That's funny.
It
So
was great.
before we roll, we had some quick questions.
Fire away.
We needed some answers to.
Yes.
Rapid fire,
These have
you're under
nothing
pressure.
to do with bodybuilding necessarily.
As most of our show does.
Yeah.
Nothing to do.
What is an item that is worth spending more money on? Quality, brand, whatever. What is an item that you think it's worth spending more money on?
Any gym equipment that's Oh yeah, I mean
All
gym
right.
equipment, whether it's cardio, like
You don't need designer purses. You want good leg presses.
there you go. If I had to pick between the two, I'd like designer purses, but I love Louis would get shelved for a good hammer strength.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You can get a couple of leg pieces for a Louis purse. Yeah.
Easy, man.
Yeah.
I kind of saved some of my luxury spending for later.
There you go.
I didn't buy anything luxury or anything like fancy for myself until I got the 3rd title.
There you go.
And I watched the Louis show. I was like, ooh, wait a minute.
3-time Miss
That's
Olympia
my
should have at
square
least
meal.
I can have
one
one of
Louis.
these.
That's the cost of that stair bill I want.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
funny.
no, let me think about this.
I was gonna ask you what you bought yourself the first Olympia. Do you buy yourself a gift? You
Yeah,
know,
I
and you
waited.
said 3rd time.
I waited.
Okay.
There's how we do it. All right, opposite end of the spectrum. What's one thing you regret spending money on that you have?
My Christian Louis Vuittons.
Yeah.
They don't fit well. They're
Nobody
cute.
likes them.
They're sexy, but
They hurt.
my toes were screaming at me. I'd rather have a pair of 9 West.
There we go.
There we go. There we go.
All right, finish this phrase. The way to my heart is...
Food.
Food.
That was so fast.
Oh yeah, I love
That was
yeah.
alarmingly fast.
she
I'm
didn't
still a
even miss
little
a beat.
worried about you post-retirement.
Yeah.
I still think there's a little.
Check in.
You need to
Let's have some
really
check
think
in.
about this. You got 5 years left?
I've got 7 to go.
7 to go?
7. She's got some
Hey,
time.
fuck you. I'm doing 10.
I'm like, you know what? Let's check in regularly,
Oh,
okay?
man.
Promise me, big bro.
Okay.
Because I like food.
Yeah,
man.
I don't think this is as easy of an exit as you're thinking.
The burgers and the fries are
That was
like,
she even lean forward.
Food.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what was your last impulse buy?
yesterday. I was at the airport. I brought some body. Is it Body Works? Body
Bath and Body Works?
Shop. Body
Oh,
Shop.
Body Shop.
And it was a strawberry. And I was like,
You couldn't
oh,
help it. In the
yeah.
airport, she paid $900 for it.
That's
Yeah,
not-
right?
12
I'm going to
bucks.
choose the worst place to shop.
And I was like, I'm right at the airport.
All right, this one's a little more difficult, but we're not going too far. Would you rather travel to the past or the future?
Future.
What would happen there?
Nothing back in the nothing in the past.
She'd just check the
11.
S&P 500.
There you go.
And she'd look at crypto prices and she'd come right back.
And
And
I'd
she's
say,
like, damn it, Ron was right. I am fat.
we are.
I was 300 pounds.
No, it'll say Ron checks in with Miss Olympia and once a month to make sure everything's in check.
Are you coaching her? No, I'm just helping her not get
The
fat.
accountability program. I
John
designed this just for
said he
her.
wanted nothing to do with her.
I designed this program just for her. It's accountability.
I like the off-the-wall questions
I
to
do
find
too.
out who's
That's
Keeps
good.
it
It was good,
fun.
Dusty.
It keeps it fun. But yeah, I mean, true confession. Like, I like food. That's one reason why, like, early on, like, my mom used to fuss at me when I was a kid. I can't keep buying bread every week. You keep eating up all the food.
You were, if I'm not mistaken, I might sound like an idiot here, but were you were obviously athletic when you were young, right? Yeah. So you weren't like eating your way into a bad situation and then you found the weight room.
No.
You were track and field,
Yeah.
or what were you doing? Like, tell
I
us
was,
again.
let me say I was in a good spot up until my sport of choice ended. Then I got to a point where I was like, oh man, now what do I do? Because I
Right.
mean, yeah, the sport was not there. So I started off in gymnastics.
I don't remember. Oh, gymnastics.
And
Yeah.
then I moved
okay.
into cheer after
You're
gymnastics.
a little big for gymnastics now.
Yeah, just a touch. Still got a great upper body for gymnastics.
There we
though.
go, there
but
we
I
go.
think that's one reason why the upper body developed so quickly.
Yeah.
It's because all those years of being, the tumbling, the
yeah,
cartwheels,
for
the
sure.
round offs.
Yep.
I still firmly believe. I mean, while there's studies that have proven it, but when you they say the ages, I think it's like 5 to 12.
Yep.
So pre-puberty.
Yep.
Those ages have like a ton to do with your neuromuscular development
Oh,
and
yeah.
coordination and just all that metabolic setup and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
It's true.
And if people they say that the worst time to get heavy is in that because it's so hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
Epigenetic changes.
Yeah, epigenetic changes. Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
And
Genes,
I think
genes.
that's when you start to. I mean, you can kind of see early on what kind of shape or form the body has as a kid, right?
Right.
Whether they're ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph, right? And I think that parents should use that like as a gateway, right? Especially if because some things you can't, right? When you start getting the hormonal stuff like ghrelin and leptin, right? You can just start to monitor things, but you still should always have them active in something. Or
Yeah.
if you know you've got endocrine issues in the family, right? Start digging into that. and get them active. But yeah, that was the prime time. I was in sport during that time. And once I got to 13, my mom started taking me to the gym. So it was like there was a complete, it was a smooth process going over. But then it was like, okay, you're going to leave me 13 in the gym.
Right.
Started off hot and heavy. But then I was like, I got a car. I can kind of go when I want. And then I'm like, started hanging out at school. I'm like, I'll go. Then I'm like, looked up freshman year, and I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah. We got to step back.
Right.
Put the joints down.
The freshman 15
turned out to freshman 20.
Freshman 20.
Because your girl like biscuits.
I like girls with biscuits
too.
and
gravy.
Oh wait,
biscuits and gravy.
Oh damn. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I got to a point where I was like, all right, I know that I'm better than this physically, right? It was just a matter of being in sport. And it gave me something to reference. I'm like, all right, if I could give myself like 100% to this, I could turn this around.
Right.
But now I got to take the reins, right? There's no coach, there's no teacher making me do it. I got to be in there and do it.
What do you think is something that maybe you did when you were younger? Maybe it was the gymnastics themselves or something like that. Hey, Kenny.
Hello, Kenny.
Good to see you,
my
man.
first posing coach.
Yeah, dead center.
This man, that's right.
You
This
bet.
man turned me pro.
Yeah,
turned
awesome.
me pro.
And
I always tell him that.
I've sent him. I've had several girls hire him and get pro cards too. So I mess up like, hey, thanks, Kenny.
If you ever get a chance, you should talk to him about how he started.
Oh, okay.
I had to know how he got the gift because he's so good.
Right.
And he's looked better than some of the women. I'm like,
yeah.
how did you master this?
No, I've seen him do a quarter turn. It's pretty awesome.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Very
Stands up on his
spicy.
toes and everything.
Very spicy, that one. I love you much. I would not have gone pro without that man. I'm convinced of it.
All my clients, they're like, can you help with posing? I'm like, no, but I know who can.
That's right. That's right. He gave me such a good foundation.
Yep.
Good man. Good man.
Yeah. I don't even remember what I was saying.
You were talking about, you were asking me, was there some space and time as a youngster where I recognized...
Oh, delayed gratification.
Ooh.
I mean, we were talking, a very common topic now, as they say, the new generation has a problem with delayed gratification.
And they do.
It's instant gratification, right?
They do.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything that you can look back on and think, that was good practice for waiting for, like, you know what I mean? Waiting for it to come to me if I work hard for it. Like, that delayed gratification quality in someone is just massively important.
Yeah.
And I think now, like, we're going to run into problems with a lot of people because everything's got to be right now. So was it maybe the way you were raised, or was it the sports, or anything that you can think of that you think really contributes to your ability to just focus on the task and believe the result will come?
Oh, yeah. I would say I probably got a twofold benefit from my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
So with my dad living on the farm, you have that time where you plant, but you don't harvest right away.
Right.
But you have to keep going out there. And I'm 9 years old, and I'm going to tend the field at 9. And all the other kids are at the pool. They're enjoying summer. I'm out here at 110 degrees, plowing and picking beans. It's like, man, okay. But it taught me, if you really want to eat, you got to go work.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to require something of you. And at 9, 10 years old, it was like, okay, I get it, right? Because it was so different from city life. It was so different. We had to burn our garbage. It was like you had to sort through garbage.
Man, I'm a farm kid. We used to burn our garbage.
And I'm telling you, it changed me. I got back to Michigan a completely different person. I would get the eggs out the chicken coop every morning. My dad, that was my duty every day. So if you want eggs, guess what? You ain't getting eggs if you're not getting ready. That's it.
Yeah, and you can just wash your hands after.
That's it, right? And make sure the broom is back in its place.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't go get them, if I was out of town or went to Bible college or something, or Bible school, we had that over the vacation Bible school.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they knew exactly where to go get it, because we had a little broom that you lift the hens off of the eggs with, shoo them off, and then you go get the eggs.
Right.
But then when I got back to my mom went back to school. And I think her going back to school, and she always told me, because after my dad passed away, she's like, listen, I'm going to get you what you need, but you're going to have to give a little bit more for the things that you want.
Right.
And she was very clear about that. I'm not here to create a spoiled brat out of you. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I went and got a job.
I'm going to give
15.
you, that's the quote of the day.
Yep.
I'm going to give you what you need, but you got to get what you want.
That's it.
I love it.
That's it. And she still sticks to it to this day.
My kids are going to be so pissed at you now.
I know, right? Auntie Drea, sorry,
taking
guys.
that home.
Auntie Drea, sorry.
And if you really break it down, shelter, food, water.
That's it. I provided your basic essential needs.
Yeah.
Everything else you want,
I'm
You
taking
gotta
some
go work
stuff
for it.
back when I get home.
That's it.
This is
Uh-oh.
mine.
Dusty needs to
But
revamp
that doesn't
his.
mean that things can't be earned.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or paid for.
Oh, because me and Mom, listen, I became the great negotiator.
Yeah.
Like, I got all A's.
Yeah.
That's working a different way. What can you give me?
Yeah. How does this work now? What's the payment on
Let's
this?
just talk about some things that are available.
I can back that up.
Yeah.
And she did a pretty good job with making sure that if there was something that she could do for me getting good grades in school, she would make sure that I earned it.
Right. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I got one more for Andrea.
Absolutely.
Fire away, I love it.
I got asked this on my story, and I was like, oh, it's actually a good question because I'm wondering what yours is. It could be anything, but what's your biggest in your whole life, biggest fangirl moment?
Oh, that's a good one.
I remember when she met me.
Right? Starry-eyed.
Was it 12 years old at a Backstreet Boys concert, or was it?
I would have to say it's probably the first time I met Jay.
Really?
First time I
We
met
all
Jay
have that
Cutler.
story.
I met Jay and I was like, wow. Because, let's be real. Nobody is doing it like Jay is doing it in bodybuilding.
He's the king.
I
Yeah.
still look up to Jay to
Yeah.
this day. Like, when I look at Jay's work ethic, I'm like, Jay's got his hands in so many different pies. And by the time because we got a friend, Dave Lieberman, does a show down in Ohio. And that's when I first met Jay in person. And I'm like, okay, Jay, let me just talk to you. I'm Miss Olympia now. I'm shooting you straight. What is it that you're doing? What kind of advice can you give me for me to take and really live by to be successful in this? And he's like, listen, don't switch up on people. You started out one way, don't switch up on people. Right?
Yeah.
He's like, if somebody invited me down and I wasn't charging them then, I'm not charging them now.
Right.
Be consistent.
Yes.
The more you build the relationships in this industry, the better off you're going to be because the relationships themselves will serve you.
That's great.
Don't switch up on people.
Don't switch up on
That's so
people.
Jay.
I mean,
it
that's
really is.
completely Jay.
That's so Jay.
And it was like, wow. But again, Jay doesn't
Right.
need more money. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You know what? Not one person has ever said to me that Jay Cutler's changed.
Nope.
You're right.
Ever.
You're right.
He's always been consistent.
Yeah.
Always.
And now it all makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and for him to give me that piece of advice, right? It was like once I started to really embody that, Mutant came along, Grindstone came along, right? Wings of Strength added more, things that they wanted to do. It just became a recipe or an equation to just be successful.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't switch up. Tell people what the expectation is early on. I mean, obviously, if it changes, right, you need some different things from them, you talk about it.
Yeah.
But do your best not to switch up.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that when I did meet all of you, I got that same vibe.
Right.
And every time I'm with y'all, everybody's still the same.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
We all still were the way we were when we started out. We're more mature, right, in certain ways.
Some of us.
But
Well,
yeah, right?
I'm
Except Jamie.
definitely not getting-
Jamie needs a scolding every now and then from Mama Shaw over here. Don't go
Who
wandering
gets
out.
lost in
I
Vegas
have
without a
fanny
shirt?
pack.
I have news for you. He does dumb stuff on purpose just so you'll scold him.
Okay. Noted.
Reverse engineered.
Noted.
Reverse engineered.
He
to
likes,
get a-
so when he's in prep, he likes for me to entertain him. Is that what
Yes,
you're saying?
that's what it is. That's what it is.
Milos, we are going to have a chat, my friend.
Yeah.
I want you to do some very strange things with his diet.
Yes. That's incredible. I'm so
Awesome.
happy that I got to chat with you like
Same.
this because,
This was
like I
great.
said, I missed the episode
Yeah,
you were on.
you did.
And I remember being like pissed because I was like, it's an Olympia champ.
Yeah.
And I mean, they brought me on. I'm like, what do you mean he's not here?
Yeah, I remember
I'm not
just
going to
being
be here
like-
either then. I'm
Yeah,
leaving.
I'm out.
Yeah.
But then I
so,
was like, no, these are my guys. I'm not going to do that to them.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So,
Man.
yeah, thanks for coming on.
Oh, anytime.
Thanks for coming on.
anytime.
You helped us out a lot.
Who's ready for Germany? Oh, wait, UK.
I got
UK first. We're doing both.
UK
Woo.
first.
Yes, because you weren't there last year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're going to have so
And
much
then we're
fun.
doing Germany.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
Guten
no.
Tag. I've been brushing up on my German, y'all.
Guten Tag. Yes. Well, there's
I've been
some other
working on
words
it.
you need to learn.
Yeah.
We'll help you. I'll send you the
Coffee.
little.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm doing a little Duolingo, so I do one session a night. where
Yeah. Extra
You know.
meat. That's a phrase you need. Extra meat when you're ordering food. You know, the
Leash.
big steak.
Und Coffee.
Yes.
Und Coffee.
We'll get it for you.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks,
Good deal.
Andrea.
Well, thanks for
It's
having
awesome.
me on, guys.
Thanks, Drea.
Fourth time, Miss
Let's
Olympia.
roll right into number 5.
Yes.
Are we gonna wrap the show up? Are we gonna wrap this up?
Do we have anything else?
No, I think that's a
That's it for
perfect
now.
show. We don't want her to get up and leave. We
They're stuck with us.
Show us. You know when you're watching
You're
like
definitely stuck with me.
Remember
Look
when
at
you
that.
watch? Remember when you'd watch like a Letterman or something, and the guest would get up while he was still exiting the show, and they'd like walk away, and you could tell Dave's like, "Stay till the commercial." You know?
Yeah.
Like you could tell they're just nervous, so they're like, "I gotta get out of here."
Right? You didn't hear him say cut yet. Say in the seat.
Yeah. Nah, but it's great to have you on, Andrea.
Thank you guys.
And we're doing another one later or tomorrow. What are we gonna do, Scott?
I hope you're doing one later
Let's
because
talk
we've got
about
a newbie on board. I really want you guys to.
I think we got.
We should get everybody.
Yeah.
Bring everybody in.
Yeah, we'll pump
Love
a few
it.
out.
I think that'd be
cool.
good.
And now that we got it working, we can pump them out. We can rapid fire them if we want
Absolutely.
to. Even so.
Yeah.
I'm real happy with that.
Mutant Nation.
Okay, so I'll do the wrap up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
perfect.
Remember, IamMutant.com, 20% off. Dusty 20, Big Ron 20. Ooh,
Andrea
man.
S20.
Andrea, she'll need
Yeah. For Olympias or my promo code. Yeah. And remember, get your all in, get your ISO surge,
Yes.
and everyone should get on the gear. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment, and
Ring the bell.
there you go.
Boom.
Scott, the producer, Dusty Hanshaw, myself, Big Ron Partlow, and of course our guest, Andrea Shaw, 4-time Olympia
Soon to be
champ.
5.
Yes,
Soon to be
call it
5. Ain't nobody touching her. See, I'm starting to kind of talk like her now. Ain't nobody touching her.
That's it. I'm rubbing off.
Yeah.
Rubbing off.
Yeah. You don't be rolling up on her at the
That's
O.
it. That's it. We're going to drop the
She
mic
just
on them.
dust you off. Yeah.
It's getting bad. It's getting bad.
Is that like offensive? Did I just?
Not at all.
I don't know.
Not at all.
She was laughing. I
give you the pass.
Okay, I got a pass. Okay.
That's Big Brother Ron.
Okay, so thanks everybody, and remember, it's just bodybuilding.